Hey guys, Kenny here. So, Paramount just announced that they're going to be putting Nickelodeon content on their new recent streaming service called Paramount Plus. Now, it's funny that Paramount's starting to do streaming services as well as other companies, which I get because of COVID and because of theaters. They figure that this is kind of a good way to kind of start getting audiences, like start to get a lot of their content out there, but I still think that it's just another attempt of them trying to get people to watch their streaming service because everybody's doing it, which is it's funny because I've seen people's videos on them talking about like streaming services and how Hollywood is a trend and everything, which I agree because really if you think about it with their streaming services, it is like a trend because ever since Netflix started doing it, Amazon started doing it, and then Disney started doing it, and then Hulu started doing it. I mean, like, you know, all these companies started doing it, but really the primary reason why they're making these kind of streaming services is only because of COVID, right? They're not opening any theaters, and there's been less releases going to theaters because nobody wants to go to a theater during COVID. So this is actually a good opportunity for them to do that. I agree that there's too many of them, and I do think that there's a lot of I think people have reasons to not pay into these kind of services, and like I myself, I'm not paying into these services. Um, the only thing I use is Crunchyroll and Netflix. That's it. But anyway, so they had announced, Nickelodeon announced that they're going to be doing uh, more content. They're going to be putting like a Dora Explorer live action series, which is like really like a Dora Explorer live action series. Like the movie was horrible. Why the hell would you make a live action series of Dora Explorer when the movie was fucking horrible? But again, it's for kids, right? Um, Very Odd Parents, the live action series, which we're gonna get to that in a minute because I kind of want to talk about that for a second. Um, they're obviously adding SpongeBob. There's gonna be some SpongeBob stuff going on there because Patrick's getting his own series, which is at this point they might as well just cancel SpongeBob. I mean, it's like The Simpsons where it's been around for so many years. Um, we have Rugrats, which is getting a reboot, which that's been in talks for a long time that they were going to reboot Rugrats. I don't mind Rugrats, like old school Rugrats. I don't mind it. I don't understand why it needs to get rebooted, but I kind of get it because obviously they're trying to get it because there's fans of Rugrats. But I mean, I seen the trailer for the CGI one. It looks okay, but I don't know. Um, there's that one, and then there's obviously they talked about Avatar: Last Airbender, which I'm pretty excited to be honest with you. That's probably the only one out of everything Nickelodeon has announced that they're bringing back is Last Airbender. And it's kind of funny that it took them years to finally say, "Oh yeah, let's do more seasons. Let's do a movie. Let's do this." It's like, you know, back when Avatar: Last Airbender came out, it was actually doing pretty well until Nickelodeon's like, "Oh no, no, we're not going to do season 4." And then when they finally do the movie was shit, and then they had no confidence in it anymore. It's like they seriously had no hopes for that series at all. And then finally they're like, the people grew up with it. Oh, okay, let's make a new seasons now. Let's make more shit for it now. It's like really Nickelodeon. So so yeah, I think that's the only one that I am actually interested out of all of them. Um, as for Fairy Odd Parents, which I'm going to bring this up because I know I've seen a couple videos where people were kind of iffy of the idea of a live action Fairy Odd Parents, like a Fairy Odd Parents series. I agree with a lot of those people. I don't understand why we need a live action series of Fairy Odd Parents. Like, last time I remembered, I thought they already did that. They made like 3 movies. They made like 3 movies of Fairy Odd Parents in live action. And no offense, but all 3 of those movies were pretty bad. Like, I watched the first one when it came out. It was bad. Number two, the second one, uh, I think that was the one where they're on vacation or something like that. That one was bad too, and the Christmas one was pretty bad. So, I don't understand why we're getting these live action. We're getting a live action series when they sort of already did that, and it didn't really turn out well for them. And I don't understand it, but And I guess Butch Hartman's involved, which last time I remembered, and the other thing too is last time I remembered, Butch Hartman wasn't a fan of live action content. Like he wasn't a fan of stuff that was going to be turned in live action. Because I remember looking at a tweet a long time ago where he's like, "Oh, they need to stop making things into live action." Well, the guy sounds like a hypocrite when he is actually working on this series. They actually hired him on to work on this live action series since he is the creator of Fairy Odd Parents, supposedly. Um, but Fairy Odd Parents, I mean that one kind of sucks. And with Butch Hartman being involved, I've already made a video about Butch Hartman and like basically how he steals content from a fan artist and everything. Um, it's funny that Hollywood is still hiring him on when you have all these. He's been accused of all these different allegations, like with the waxes, and then stealing artwork and commissions, and bashing his fandom, and talking down to artists, and not paying artists. Like it just makes you wonder that Hollywood is just a corrupt system. Like it's just the industry itself in Hollywood is just corrupt, and they're entirely stupid too. Where they don't know the history, they don't delve into the history of Butch. That they'll just like, okay, well, we'll just hire you since this is your stuff, and people grew up with your stuff. Well, we'll just hire you on anyway, even though we don't give two shits about what you've been doing with the media. Because that's mostly what Hollywood does. I mean, if you look at most of the stuff Hollywood's been doing with SJWs, you would know that they do pay attention to the media, especially when it comes to celebrities. But with Butch, I mean, it doesn't surprise me they would hire him on since he's the creator. But at the same time, it's also funny to me that they would actually give him work when I thought he like left Nickelodeon and was done. I thought he was done all that shit. But I don't know. Anyway, that's a different other story, I guess. Um, but I mean, the whole thing with them trying to make a streaming service um, for Nickelodeon and all that stuff. I mean, I'm a little bit iffy of the idea of like them actually doing that stuff, like adding in like different reboots and then bringing out. So I do agree that they should like bring back Avatar: Last Airbender. I do think they need to give it more stuff, especially when it's just ludicrous that they couldn't have done it at the time after season 3 was done. It's still ludicrous to me. Um, and SpongeBob, I mean, I don't know why they're still coming up with like these spin-off shows and all this stuff for SpongeBob when I think a lot of us kind of want SpongeBob to kind of like just get canceled because it's been around since The Simpsons, right? The Simpsons has been around for so many years. So it's like why is it still around? Like I love SpongeBob. I love the old school SpongeBob, but like I mean, come on. Dora Explorer, no. Like no. Like whoever came up with that idea of a live action Dora is just they're fucking idiots. Um, but yeah, tell me what you guys thoughts on this. If you're pretty excited about this, I mean I don't know. I'm kind of iffy. I wanted the time to talk about this. There is stuff on here that did kind of interest me, and I did want to kind of talk a little bit about that Fairy Odd Parents thing. But tell me what you guys thoughts on this announcement. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.